Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing something I haven't done before, so I'm actually pretty excited about it. We'll see how it turns out. Um, Going to be making mead. Um, got some honey from, I have some beehives over at my parents' house, and we never get through all the honey before we get another wave of it, so gonna try to make a little bit of mead. I'm using this method. I found there's a guy on YouTube. His name's Michael Jordan. He doesn't play basketball, but he made this method. It's kind of a small batch method of making mead. So I'm gonna give it a try, and we'll see how it goes. So the first thing that I got to do, this honey is set around for a while, and it is crystallized. And that doesn't mean that the honey's gone bad. It just means that it's the sugars in it have made crystals, and you can't squeeze it. This is solid. And I can't put this in the microwave because the container will melt and do all sorts of strange things. So what I have to do is I got my big pink bowl. This is the ones that I'm gonna be using, and I put in some hot water, but not boiling. It was right around 170, 175 when I put them in. But as you can see, it's starting to melt, or the honey's starting to melt back into a liquid. So once that becomes a liquid, or at least liquid enough for me to get it out, we can keep going. Okay, while the honey's turning back into a liquid, I got to looking, and one thing I can do at the moment is get the water and everything ready to add the honey to. So I'm going to be doing that. This is a 1 gallon jug. Just regular water or regular bottled water from the store. This will actually be the what we ferment the mead in, and it's really full. But yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pour most of it into here. And I'm going to heat it to about, I'm probably going to heat this up to a boiling point, because it's going to take a while for the honey to liquefy, and then by the time that we need it, it should drop in temperature enough to where we can use it. Alright, so we got it, it's up close to boiling. It's not too boiling. Don't think we really need to get all the way to boiling. But yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some extra stuff to my mead, just to add a little more flavor. Hopefully it'll turn out right. I don't know. First time doing it. Okay, I'm going to add the extra stuff at the moment, or right now. Get you zoomed back out. Okay, so I picked these up. We'll see if they work or not. Got sweet orange peel, and then I've got some lemon peel. They had some cherry syrup at the homebrew supply store that they let me try some, and it was really good. But this was a little more budget friendly, so maybe next time we can try the cherry. I'm going to be adding a 1/4 cup of each, so there goes the lemon, and then had technical difficulties, and then here is the orange peel. So I'm going to let these steep. It's basically going to make kind of a lemon orange tea, kind of sort of. So that's going to steep, and it's going to go, it's as much water as there is, it's probably going to hold its heat fairly well for a little while. But when we add the honey, it needs to be under 100, or between 160 degrees and 170 degrees. So we've got a little bit of temperature to play with. And then here in a minute, I'm going to add, it's like a yeast nutrient thing. And this helps the yeast. It's kind of a multivitamin for the yeast, so they do end up doing better. So I'll add that off camera because it's brown powder. So, but yeah, when this steeps and we get the honey liquefied, we'll keep going. So I ended up doing a lot more than I really planned on doing before I hit record again. So what I got the honey liquid-ish. It'll work for this, but it's not rock solid like it was, so we're much better off. And then this is the water, and the little floaty things are the lemon and the orange peels, and those are going to stay in there while it ferments to add some more flavor and all that. And then I also added the nutrient starter, and I just followed the directions that were on the label. So it was half a teaspoon per gallon, so 1 gallon, half a teaspoon. So this is about, it's in the very low 160s, so it'll work. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to add the honey to this, and I'm going to shake it really, really well. It does two things. It mixes the honey in, because you don't want the honey sitting on the bottom. And in addition to that, it also aerates to get that accomplished. And then after this, it's going to sit and cool down a little bit because this is way too hot to put yeast in at the moment. When it gets down to under 100 degrees, I'm probably shooting for 80. Then I'll get back and we'll add the yeast and cap it. Alright, so it's finally come down to, it's just at 100 degrees now, so we're right in the range that we need to add the yeast. I'm using what the video, the guy that I watched used as far as yeast. It's Red Star brand yeast. There's a Cuvée and a Blanc. The backs of these say that they can make up to 5 gallons of wine, but the video I watched, he used 2 full packets to do a gallon of mead. So that's what I'm going to do, because I don't know any better at this point. So, let's see if I can get into these. Alright, those were a lot harder to get open than I expected. So yeah, I'm going to add both sets of yeast. They added theirs directly to it, which is what I'm doing. On the package, it says to pour the yeast into warm water first. But yeah, I'm just mimicking the recipe that I was shown. Gonna stir it in real quick. Okay, and then here, make sure I don't have any sticking to the top of the container. Okay, so another thing, you can get an airlock. I'm trying to keep this cheap since this is the first time I've tried fermenting anything besides sauerkraut. So I'm just using a very low-tech airlock. This keeps air out of it so the yeast can do its thing. But if you were to just put the cap on it, the pressure would build up and it would pop. So, yeah. And they said, you know, it could take up to a couple weeks to ferment. For the yeast to quit doing their thing, and then you got to re-rack it, which you're just getting the sediment out of it at that point. And then you can let it sit for a little while, and let it age, or bottle it up and drink it. Still kind of looking into that a little bit. Since I haven't done this before, I'm kind of just learning as I go, and this is going to take at least 2 weeks to do, so yeah, maybe here in a couple weeks I'll come back to this and show you guys how it turned out. So if you have any questions or comments, I'd be glad to hear from you. I really don't know much about home brewing, but I'll try my best. Beyond that, see you next time.